Hey guys, today we're going to be discussing a Myoko build, a Myoko Masterclass. So, aiming systems for your mods, we're going to jump right into it by the way. Steering gears is an option, but propulsion is also an option. This is remembering you can run two different builds for this guy. Steering gears is very good for twisting and turning, propulsion is good for getting and going, which is very helpful. Both are viable choices, so please feel whatever one you feel comfortable with. Steering gears, again, a viable option. Concealment is also very viable. I use concealment for the longest as well, so I feel switch up from time to time even now. So really, it's whatever you feel more comfortable with. You'd be ducking and dodging more with steering. Concealment, you're more stealth firing, but if you get shot, you're not as able to dodge more effectively. You do have that 5% dispersion. Now, Commander, Adigo Commander is the best choice without a hands down. If you don't have her, I'll go two other builds for you. Sponge, Arsonist, I prefer Sponge. It just gives you a bit more survivability. Fixated, more accuracy. Refill Station for better reload. Minbelly improves the reload further, and Kuznetsov gives you more range. You could run, instead of Minbelly, get Makawa on there, and that's another option build there. Stealth. Building for stealth in Nadigo is a good idea. Let's show you a different build from Yamamoko's side. This is the aggressive play. Beyond range, Igniter. Punch through, or you can go the alternate skill for defense, the light cruiser skill, and fixated, refill station, and then Makawa. And then you wouldn't use Scharnhorst because she's accurate enough. This is for a different commander, but I would head over to Kuznetsov or the Italian commander that reduces reload, which is Minbelly. So these are optionate builds here. Before Yamamoto though, I wouldn't even use Yamamoto if you didn't have Adigo. I would probably go with Makawa, running an agile build with the ingenious perk, which is so very useful. Full speed ahead, malicious, steer clear, and then fully packed, at least in my preference. You could run the additional ranges, inspirations, and again you could run Minbelly for the reload, or there's tons of really options. I went for Swersky for additional concealment, but it really doesn't matter too much. It's whatever you want, whatever you feel comfortable with. But I definitely recommend having decent range in this boat and having decent stealth. Myoko is inherently stealthy, but still. Torpedoes, by the way, are not to be underestimated. You definitely want to use them. You really want to use them when you're not spotted, and that's the best way to catch people off guard. They're very good torpedoes, 10 kilometers, 62 knots, and with my commander Adigo, 1.4 detectability. So pretty good. 12 kilometers is not great stealth, but it's not bad for a ship that doesn't have any camo on, and it's not really building to stealth. So, to show you a stealth build, I'm just going to quickly cycle all the way over here to put on Makawa instead of Minbelly, who I find is the interchangeable commander. Minbelly, yeah, we'll swap over the concealment mods by the way as well. Over to concealment mode. I think Minbelly is probably better off with Makawa. If you're very comfortable in the boat, maybe switch to Minbelly, but it's only if you're very comfortable. Let's put on a max stealth camo, and let's take a wee look here. 9.7 is probably the stealthiest you'll get. My camo is very high. Unless you build into a Universal Commander running Look at Me Now, you'll still probably get close to this. You probably get like 9.1, 9.5, 9.4. That's about the highest you'll get there. This is probably very good stealth because I have very high level commanders in this particular build. And we take a look at the armor here real quick as well. I've been showing it over here. Basically, no armor in the front. You can bounce 203s, 25mm sides. You can bounce 14-inch guns, and the deck itself is 32. Citadel is exposed. You do not want to get shot in this thing. You will die broadside. It's not very tanky. You want to be dodging, kiting as much as possible. You have 30mm deck, so some shells that hit your deck might actually bounce, even 16-inch guns, but don't risk it. Don't do it. You don't want to get hit in this boat at all. You want to be kiting away. Torpedo protection as well on Japanese cruisers are typically supposed to be rather high. 13% quite high for a cruiser. Of course you have the sonar and the catapult fighter. Anyway, without much further ado, let's head on to a game. There we go. So for this game, we have Medieval Knievel, who is a very, very good player, and we have Rani Evil, who's also a very good player in division with us. What they do is help me win the game, and it's not really relevant to focus on them, which is nice to say. I honestly say what I'm doing is I would do the same regardless if I'm division or not. So first thing you want to do is you want to get yourself into a kiting position. You want to be seeing and spotting them. You want to wait to what their DD does. So fortunately I have Medieval as my destroyer here, so first thing he'll do is get in their range to spot the enemy. And I want to be in a position where if I see something I can turn and I can dodge and I can get myself into a kiting position. The torpedoes on the Myoko are not for situations where you just want to rush people. It's for kiting away and torpedoing while you're kiting away. That's what they're for. They're also, because they're 10-kilometer range, they're very good for getting those early torpedoes in to help zone out caps. That's what I do. If they don't hit anything, it's not a problem. I'm not going to use them anyway. They're well worth using it for that zoning, for that one blind chance. There's no harm in it. I don't think torpedo accuracy or gun accuracy is well, gun accuracy might be more relevant, but torpedo accuracy, the amount of people firing zoning torps is incredibly useful and incredibly valuable trick. I don't respect people moaning about, torpedo accuracy needs to be very high. Zoning torps is a viable strategy. Medieval does it as well, you can see that, and so does myself. Now Friedrich cannot really hit me over here. I've got an island cover here. I am spotted by something else, I believe, but that's not a problem. At the minute they're not shooting, I can always turn away, and we're getting some good hits on that Friedrich with this Japanese hard-hitting Alpha Strike HE. This is what the Myoko is good for, the hit and run strategy. They can hit very hard, they can do some severe damage, and they have a high chance of setting fire. This is offset by a longer reload than most cruisers, but as you can see, it doesn't really mean it's not a good damage dealer. Just like the Amalfi can deal damage, but it doesn't have that same fire chance, and the hard hitting guns is also there. You just feel more comfortable in a Japanese boat compared to the Italian boats, because the Japanese have a lot of guns, they have very good fire chances, and they're incredibly good at sending torpedo salvos that are quick, fast, and long range as well, as opposed to the Italian sea mines as they're commonly referred to. Setting fires out of the game, always good. Friedrich's not had a good day, he's been pushing in, and we're going to see if we can make his day a little bit worse. Shooting from stealth in a Myoko is the best thing you could possibly do in this ship. You don't want to be kiting, okay? It's good at it, yes, don't get me wrong, but I don't want to be kiting if I don't need to. There's no reason for me to kite. Shooting from stealth is absolutely the best thing you could possibly do. You're not like a Cabrosk build. You want to kite to avoid enemy fire, because sure, you can kite, you can dodge. Any hits you take though are most likely going to be pretty darn damaging, so you don't want to be doing that. You want to be careful. One thing the Myoko is very good at as well is Alpha Strike, Dev Strike, Dev Striking with HE destroyers. It's incredibly good at murdering destroyers. This thing is an OG at killing DDs. The hard alpha, the hard fire chance, and just generally the amount of guns means you kill destroyers quickly. So what I'm doing right now is supporting my DD. Regardless if he's in the vision or not, I would be helping him out. And as you can see, these guns don't lie. These guns are accurate, particularly for Japanese guns in general. They do well. Sending some torpedoes towards the other smoke screen where the other DD was spotted. That's the answer there to who was spotting me. There we go. Zara bounds down an enemy DD on the other side of the map, I believe. I don't know what's going on there, but that's great. Great news. They're down to 1 DD. They've lost 2. We've lost nothing. Even better. Firing some torpedoes again. Even if Medieval hits them, it's not a problem. It's all about using those zoning torps to help zone out that cap. If they decide to contest the cap, they might hit some torpedoes, they might not. I'm not going to use them anyway. Why wouldn't I use them when I could? Friedrich is pretty low. He's been burning pretty significantly, and there he goes down as well. Notice 4 pens. You're getting the 5 shatters. Yeah, sure, it's a German battleship. There's some heavy hits, heavy parts of armor that I'm not going to pen, but overall I'm doing high amounts of damage with just the penetrations alone. So we're on 37, we're building up some damage. You don't have to do massive amounts of damage. You don't have to push in and get so much damage and all that. You're all about patience and taking your time waiting for the right position. I could spend 5 minutes getting to the right position and still not do any damage, and at the end I could pull out like 150, 170 damage game. It's all about getting the right shots rather than just firing as much as you can. Though a cruiser does do well when you fire as much as possible, but if you can fire as much as possible and stay alive, perfect situation. It's all about preserving your hit points, getting the good trades, and really using your ship to its best ability. So we got a lot of ships here, turning the guns, no reason to fire, not full salvo at this point. I want to be careful, I want to see what I can do, because I want to minimize my detectability here. If I fire just those back guns, then it's not going to be well worth it for me, because then if I want to disengage, because there's 3 battleships here that could all potentially shoot me, I can just go dark, basically. So that's why I'm waiting for the full salvo. Firing the torpedoes. Could have fired them earlier before I fired, but that's a bit misplay on my part, but it's a minor misplay. So then again, they're not interested in shooting me, they're interested in shooting that Nelson, which is fine for me. We are going to be careful here. We're going to meet yourself with an island. Again, a bit of a misplay here, but as long as I'm telling you this is a misplay, you should know this is not the best to do things. They're not focused on me though, so this is fairly fine. I'm more than happy to give a broadside. If they turn, if they become a problem, I have very good steering. I could easily just dodge as much as possible. I'm also basically staring onto them, which is good because it does present a small profile. Again, they can overmatch it, yes, but it's all about presenting a small profile, dodging and duking. King George is a best target for me. These guns take a long time to turn, and you really need to pre-turn them, and that's very important for Myoko because Japanese cruisers do not have good turret traverse on their guns. Now, we're going to pepper King George a bit more, and we're going to zip around the island that we contacted with earlier. And we're just going to keep an eye on, there we go. Yeah, we're thinking something like that is going to happen. They are eventually going to shoot us down. So, probably going to go dark here. Before we do that though, let's send some torpedoes. He took some torpedo tubes out temporarily. They were repaired. We're going to fire them ahead a little bit just in case. Now, we're just going to go dark here. We're not going to shoot. We're going to aim our guns 100%. We're going to see. Now, that mass is there. We're actually going to break the old rule there because we see the mass. He is a danger to our DD, and if we can kill him, we're pretty good. Scharnhorst doesn't have high caliber guns. It's unlikely that he's going to punch right through my side armor, which he cannot overmatch because it can bounce 25mm. And there we go. Our DD does go down, unfortunately, but we did help him out as much as we could, and it was just unfortunate. I think we did. If we didn't beach, we probably could have saved him, and that's unfortunate, but we'll see. Anyway, angling against the Scharnhorst, he is firing HE. He's doing minimal damage because he's bouncing off that 32mm armor. As you can see, he bounced off the deck. Did set a single fire. I didn't want to burn the damage control in case he takes out my steering, and if he takes out my steering, that is basically leaving me high and dry in the water. Scharnhorst goes down. He was battered by everyone else. I'm kiting away. Not really taking any damage at all, just always nice. And yeah, this is really what you want. I'm not gonna you don't really want a game where you're kiting and dodging the whole game. It's a lot of work for you. There's no need for that. You always just want to pump out the damage and do fine. So again, I've not fired all the time this game, but you can see the damage rack up. It definitely racks up. So yeah, King George is having fun times with the dead Scharnhorst. We're gonna shoot over this island. King George probably could get it there. So we're going to turn away from King George and present a small target. We really should be checking back at the King George to see where he's firing. Again, potential misplay right there. But in the meantime, we've got to focus on killing their only destroyer. And there we go. He's out. Just in case, we're going to fire some torps because the King George isn't paying attention to us. So there we go. We're going to fire some ahead, some behind, just in case. Just some zoning torps, maybe set a flood, and therefore we can help have these fires stick. 5 penetrations, again, Japanese HE hits like a truck. Unfortunately no fire, but he might have been on the damage control at that point because he is freshly out and he's probably using damage control. Again, a little bit unfortunate. 7 shell hits, 6 pens, again, a lot of damage, but Still no fire. Could be another damage control, we do not know, but that's just maybe a bit of bad RNG from my part there. These have a 25% chance each shell, so that's a lot of chances there. There we go. We set 2 shells and that's a single fire. Perfect sense. So yeah, those torpedoes look pretty good as well actually. I don't think they're going to hit though. I think he's slowed down too much. I think he's came in contact with the beach or slowed right down. Yeah, they're out of range actually. Alright, we did actually pick up the high caliber with another fire and another wee burning there. He's not along for this world, which is always good. Our team have really done a good job cleaning them up. And yeah, this is really going well so far. Just one ship left, and it's the poor Zara. We're gonna see what we can. More of a blind shot with assisted aim there. So we're just gonna fire the HE. We don't know if he's giving good enough angle for broadside. If you look at the minimap, he's certainly not. So it's better just to stick to HE. You'll be using HE most of the time in the Myoko, but if you see a broadside cruiser or a broadside battleship, and they're not all, if you see a broadside cruiser, you need to switch to the AP. The AP is very, very good. And it will murder any cruiser giving you broadside. This is heavy cruiser AP. This is no joke. I switched to AP right now because I look at the map, I see he's going to get beat a flat broadside. He is a little bit angled, but I'm more than comfortable that I consider Delta Zara at this angle. A little bit high, I think I aim here, but still I get a good result if I'm not mistaken. There we go. Take out his engine as well for 10k. We get 4 beautiful pens, 4 over pens, so we did a really good job there, that salvo. Can we finish him off with this final salvo? Again, 3 pens, 3 over pens. I think he's damage saturated in that part, which is unfortunate. Can we finish off for the final Kraken? No, someone takes it away from us. That's unfortunate. But this is a great example of how you play the Myoko. I think it's a bit of a short game, but I definitely think the positioning and what I've been doing in that game works. So about 3k base XP, 133,000, 4 kills, high caliber. Not really much time to perform this game. It's a very short game, but just an idea of how the Myoko is played and how you could really use it to its strengths, and you can see the result you could get. And I've had more time. God knows this could have been something even more dangerous. Anyway, hope you enjoyed this video, and as always, I'll catch you next time. Bye for now.